Here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. It is the final Tuesday of Leadership Tuesday, Leadership Nuggets, getting our blueprint poured into having our cup of coffee before we make any great, outlandish decision about what we're going to do today, how we're going to live, and most importantly, how are we going to lead? So, if you are new to this conversation, I am Mary May. I am a leadership strategist that has created a GPS to help you navigate through gaining the clarity of how it is that you navigate your success in leading in your life. And what I mean by that is leading in your life in a way that you not only get the clarity that you need, you are able to have and be equipped with negotiating how it is that your success ladder is going to be leveled up, where you will be breaking any and all glass ceilings that you believe exist, and you will begin to get promoted in your life in ways that you were never ever or have had limitations for one reason or another, and how it is that you are able to level up in your career. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for stopping by and joining in on this conversation. So, as general, it might be some people who are new to me this week because you may be off. We meet each and every Tuesday morning before your commute, before you start your day, just to pour into your cup that cup of coffee or tea, or it might be a smoothie, with some different nuggets that you can identify how it is that you are leading in your life, or be able to fill your toolkit to understand what are some things that you can make a 2 millimeter shift and be able to identify how it is that you may have some mask on that you're not quite aware of. You might have some roadblocks or things that you have experienced that you're like, okay, I keep going to different leadership roles, leadership positions, leadership experiences, and having the same roadblock, the same blind spot, the same experience. The common denominator is you. You are not flawed. However, there are things that if a 2 millimeter shift, a 2 millimeter, let's pull the curtain back. If we are able to like really just dive in and look at what it is that consistent theme is, and strategically bring that curtain to where you are standing on your stage unapologetically being you each and every conversation. So happy Tuesday morning to you. It is the final Tuesday of 2022. And I hope that your yesterday challenges turn into today's achievements, because in the process of leadership, leadership is a transformation. And as you identify what that transformation is for you, you're going to grow, but you're also going to need to wind down and make sure that you are ready for whatever the next calendar year has for you. So, are you ready? Are you ready for that transformation? Are you ready for whatever comes your way, whatever is planted as a seed? Are you ready? Are you prepared to be in your purpose, to stand in your light, and to be able to identify what are some of these roadblocks that have been a challenge to you in your current, past, and hopefully we can do the yellow brick road and figure out how they won't necessarily have to be in your future. So today's conversation is the start of potentially a series that I'm going to do in regards to how it is that we wear masks in leadership. So the mask that you wear is in alignment with my hashtag daily divorce of self. I always usually frame it like as far as framing what your thought process is. How are you daily divorcing yourself? How are you creating that separation from the old you and preparing for a cleansed and renewed you? How are you breaking up, separating that divorce from the things that people have said and you began to live Um, are you doing a daily divorce? Are you cleansing to prepare how it is that you can stand for yourself and live unapologetically? So, as a leader, are you elevating or are you hiding your influences and success? You have survived several different things. So, in your journey of survivor to CEO, whatever that CEO status and leadership looks like to you, are you carrying energy, residue, experiences that have been placed upon you, life, and are you holding on to those different things? And those situations are creating the glass ceiling that is limiting you from you being able to navigate and move forward. So in the comments, it says confidence and mental health are some barriers towards leadership and lack of professional support system. So definitely mental health plays a large part, which is the reason why mental health, the role that mental health plays and the support system that when you are experiencing those mental health moments have is really a strong driver on why this mask wearing conversation is going to be over across a couple of sessions, because the mask that we wear really is to protect ourselves, but it's also to protect our role, our position, our opportunities. But then as we are protecting ourselves, we're not really giving ourselves the full on opportunity to lead unapologetically. And so, what the GPS that in the blueprint that I walk side by side with individuals and doing is identifying what are those roadblocks? What are those challenges? Let's walk side by side, dig up the dirt, replant the seeds so that your leadership can be successfully you, and understanding how you can lead forward and not have that glass ceiling of your mental health being a barrier, but your mental health being the resilience and the strength that you need to move forward. So, in understanding what that looks like, you begin to position yourself. So, you get the clarity of the goals as the G. You get to plan and position what it is that you would like to see for yourself and where it is that your direction that you're going, as well as getting the strategy so that when the red flags begin to pop up in life over and over again, you are not stuck with the over and over again experience. You are able to equip yourself and understand how it is that you can not only stand in your level of excellence, but that you can understand how you can rip that mask off and just lead unapologetically, knowing that I've already conquered this. I've seen this path before, and I'm not sitting in you know how you sit in the parking lot and the GPS says head northwest, head southeast. You don't know where northwest and southeast is, hence the reason you typed in your destination into the GPS. However, when you type in that and you begin to move your car into the different situations, good morning, Ben. When you begin to type in your coordinates into those different situations, you are now walking side by side with that digital from the sky GPS that helps guide you to get to the point in which you will grow. So when you pull that mask off, you have the unapologetic guidance, the unapologetic support system that is going to is going to elevate you, because it's going to pinpoint where your mental health shows up, where you're questioning, you're doubting of how it is that you as a leader has some challenges. You as a leader are working through surviving something. You as a leader, whatever you're surviving, has masked you up and caused you to be guarded. It is a new season for you. There's no reason to be guarded, hidden, or anything like that. Because as a leadership strategist, should you choose to elevate your career and walk side by side with a GPS similar to the one that you have when you're in the parking lot and it's telling you to go northwest or to go southeast, and you're like, I don't really know what that means. And you begin to move a little bit cautiously, protecting yourself. Like, okay, is this the northwest? Is this the northwest? How about I just go straight and wait for it to catch up? Well, now it's time for you to catch up with you. It's time for you to identify what your northwest section is, what your southeast direction is, and be able to say, this experience, this and this thing that challenges me and my mental health, that causes me to freeze, that causes me to live in having handcuffs, is no longer going to have that much influence over how I am successful. Because when you have given the power or the influence to an external thing, you're telling your brain that this is the thing that we want to do more of. This is the thing that I want you to constantly put these roadblocks in front of me and show me how my success, how my special gifts are not really needed or necessary. So if you look at it from that aspect, you begin to position yourself and understand how it is that you can level up in a different way. So again, our focus nugget is the mask wearing that we do in leadership, and asking yourself, are you elevating or are you hiding your influences and your success? Your journey on the surviving to CEO status is definitely important, and it's more important now than ever, because now there's an open playing field where we can talk mental health, where we can talk resources that you need, where we can talk this life and thing is difficult and I need the support. So, where is it that you find in your leadership journey that your GPS is always rerouting? It's always taking a detour. It's always giving you the energy of you feeling like, okay, well, maybe this promotion just wasn't for me. Or maybe this idea that I had was not, mine to have. Or maybe this prayer request or this opportunity was not in the right timing for me to elevate up the way that I wanted. The thing about it is you are the common denominator. And if you are experiencing being in like that parking lot and the GPS saying go northwest, go southeast, and you're like, okay, but which way is that? How do I do that? How do I get to navigate what that looks like and how it is? How can it serve me in the best capacity? The thing about pulling the mask off is you are able to infuse that GPS to identify what has been your blind spots. What has been the barriers that are keeping you from what it is that you want? So, just as you type in the coordinates on driving and that GPS helps you understand what that northwest direction is or what that southeast direction is, leadership strategist helps point you into that side by side support of what is needed and walking with you to understand you're going to need some assistance. You're going to need some help. And in doing that, you're trying to break a chain. You're trying to change the narrative of how it is that you have existed prior to now. So the roles that you play as leader in your life require you to have a mirror check. A mirror check that, not again using the analogies of being in the car, not the mirror check that when you look up to see, okay, how much traffic is behind me? What's my blind spot look like? What is, ahead of me? Am I navigating and paying attention to all of the roadblocks, all of the debris, all of the construction that could come into my way? It's the same way when you are sitting in that conference room, when you are sitting in that meeting with the person who has the ink in the pen to help level you up. It's the same energetic, emotional conversation that you are having with yourself. as someone is giving you that new task and you are questioning, you are leading somewhat with confidence, but then somewhat with doubt. But you wear the mask that you got it all together. But when you get back to your own workspace, you're like, how am I going to get this done? That conversation that you begin to have and saying, how am I going to get this done, is where it becomes extremely instrumental to have that daily divorce of self, because you're defaulting into that frozen state of mind, that frozen state of not understanding the capabilities that you live with on a day-to-day basis, and being able to not allow the barriers that have had you in handcuffs before to be able to pause your transformation season, because your transformation season is only reframed, is only lived, is only practiced and activated by the change that you choose to say, I am no longer playing at a lower ambition level. I am no longer choosing to live in a space that does not give me the autonomy to just authentically be me. If you are doing the mirror check and you're realizing your roles of leadership, and when we talk about leadership, leadership goes from the boardroom to the community room to your relationships with one another, to also how it is that you sustain in your intimate relationships. So leadership goes across all of your lives, whether or not someone has written in ink that you are the leader in that. You are the leader of your voice. You are the leader of your agency. However, have you been told that, and do you believe that? Do you understand that when you elevate, that you become a person that is different than whom you've ever been? You're taking up space and energy that you have never done, and that can become very, very uncomfortable. Hence, when mental health comes into play, hence when the doubt comes into play, comes into the space of that daily divorce of self, and you are in your strategy of, am I going to survive to CEO? Or am I just going to say, okay, pass me over? You've been passing me over already for so many times. So just continue to pass me over. You are the leader of your own life. You create and dictate your path. Yes, there may be some boundaries, there may be some things that you have to work in and around. However, those boundaries don't dictate how you authentically trust and love on you. Do the mirror check. What is the consistent theme? And when you realize what the consistent theme is really where infusing a blueprint, infusing the strategy that comes from developing that blueprint, so that you can create what is the transformation plan for yourself. Because you could do that within a 12-week period, and understanding how you transform, what your daily divorce of self is. But the first thing you got to do is to be clear on what your goals are. So, in being clear on what your goals are, takes a real deep dive and a reflection and saying, what have been my wins for the year? What have been my wins in this particular role? What have I successfully stepped into that I saw it from A to Z? Oftentimes as leaders, we work so hard to get to what it is that we are trying to do successfully, that when we set the goal, we set the plan, we do the intention, the project is done, we get the pat on the back, we end up jumping right into the next fire. The thing is before you jump into the next fire, that next new project, you need to embrace, what were your wins? You should embrace how you got to this level up position. You should embrace and understand what risk, what uncomfortable thing did you have to envision for yourself to make it happen, so that you can either know what you need to learn more about, or learn what you need to unlearn because it became a barrier in your success. The challenge when we wear our mask is that we are trying to compartmentalize how we show up and creating that life work balance. We believe that if we are in crisis at home, if we are in chaos at home, if we are in those crisis and chaos in the workplace, we don't realize how our self energetically feeds into our mental health, how we begin to wear a mask that influences our success, but also our success and how we interact, love on each other, love on ourselves, as well as putting ourselves in the right positioning so that we can begin to, lead unapologetically. And leading unapologetically does not mean you have to be mean, doesn't mean that you have to be harsh, but it does mean you have to change some of the ways that your energy and your space looks like. So if you look around where you're working now, if it's at home, if it's in a workplace, if it's your car, wherever, is that filled with clutter? Is it filled with chaos? Compartmentalizing is, okay, I don't have time to do that because I got to go run and do this, or I don't have time to tend to this because I don't. You have time because the thing is that the thing that you're striving for is going to be impacted and interrupted and paused as long as you have that chaos and clutter around you. That chaos and clutter is also your experience, because we all have a level of experiences with our own mental health. How it challenges our capacity is different. How it enables us is different. How it fuels our confidence or fuels our doubt is all different, because you don't have to be handcuffed to where you're not moving forward because you're experiencing something. But when you compartmentalize, you're not truly giving yourself the full autonomy and trusting the confidence that you could do something better. So when you envision how it is that you want to move forward, it's transformation season. A lot of spaces and places in this particular calendar week and in the upcoming weeks are going to, kind of say, okay, let's do a vision board. Let's, say what your goals are. And like, it's all beautiful. We might have some beverages or whatever as you're doing this celebration. And those things are great. However, are you going to just place your vision, the things that have been poured into you, your natural gifts on how it is that you lead forward, and remain stuck? Is it just going to be a beautiful thing that you capture and put on your wall, and that it's on your wall and it's just staying there, and you don't have the skill set, the toolkit, or the ability that they really gives you that thing to help it activate and get moving? So the vision board, creates, okay, it's what's supposed to be, it's what's supposed to be happening at this time, because every December, January, this is what I do. But come March, what have you successfully done? That's a 12-week period. It seems like, oh my God, it's 3 months, whatever. From January to March, you could really make a game-changing move on how you transform and lead in your own life. So when you take that time to not put yourself on the shelf, but take that time that you really do that honest inventory of who you are, where your successes have been, where your successes and influences with other people, you could begin to pull the mask off, because through all that you accomplished, you doubted your ability that you were going to be able to do it. You doubted throughout the journey that it was going to be received in the way that you wanted it to be. You doubted what your capacity really could have been, because that residue of something being taken from you, or that residue of something being separated, creates that process that, okay, am I going to complete it or am I not? And we have to really look at that residue, because it plants seeds in how we think. It plants seeds in how we plan. It plants seeds in what we are surviving. So if you're surviving conversations where you're in highly critical spaces, people are constantly giving you feedback, and you're like, okay, wait, what they mean by that feedback? You're reading so much further into the feedback that could be constructive criticism, that really is constructive criticism to help you build how you are trying to lead forward. So when you understand and understand the residue that you have from possibly being laid off, possibly being terminated, possibly having a loss in your family, like as far as a physical loss or a fire or something happened with your children. Remember, you can't compartmentalize life work balance. We wear the mask because we have been conditioned and developed and told that we had to. However, when you are authentically leading and positioning yourself, you have to understand that being comfortable means you're not growing. But understanding that being comfortable with being uncomfortable means that you are consistently on a trajectory for growth to happen. Which one do you choose to dance in? Do you choose to dance in being locked and loaded and being comfortable? My paycheck is good. My benefits are good. Let me just go clock in, do this 8, and then I'm going to do everything else. That's a settling. You're settling. You may enjoy what work you're doing, but are you truly doing it with all the gifts that you have? Are you in the space of fear of missing out? Like, are you just trying to say, okay, let me just be at the table, let me just be in the room, let me just lead and be the way that they want me to be, but you're wearing your mask. So being the way that somebody else wants you to be gives them the opportunity to guide you where it is that you will grow, guide you where you will level up, guide you where you will not have the full download and reset that you are seeking and desiring. So when it comes to you being able to level up, you are constantly in the space of recognizing or not recognizing how you need to pull the curtain back. How you need to pull the curtain back and really, really take an authentic look in, why does the mask that I wear exist? How can I grow and change my mindset and have a strategy that's going to be executed with consistency and discipline that's going to help me move and level up to where it is that I need to move up? The leadership strategist element of this conversation is, usually we can do things to a certain point. We can do the vision board to a certain point. It gives us that visual that by the end of January, are we still doing that mirror check and having that honest inventory? The way that it can continue to be activated and moving forward is, what choices, what intentions are you taking to invest in your level up? Are you comfortable in constantly code switching, showing up, compartmentalizing how you will be in this place, how you be in that place, how you'll be in another place, what role you will switch or whatever? Code switching is important, especially for leaders of melanated identification, because there are things in which we do, how we live, how we the foods we eat, the music we enjoy, how it is that we communicate with each other, that non-melanated individuals just don't understand. However, when it's code switching where you're wearing a mask to hide who you are authentically, and you're not choosing to pull back that curtain, you are not allowing yourself to win unapologetically. You will maybe thinking that I'm being selfish, I'm limiting myself, or they're not ready for that part of me, or something like that. And if they're not ready, it's possible that you're also guarding yourself and not realizing that you've already outgrown the roles and assignments that have been placed in your space on a day-to-day basis, like what they give you permission to do. They've only given you permission to lead in this particular way because you haven't chosen to pull that curtain back, take that mask off, and say, yes, I live with mental health experiences. However, they don't have to handicap me. Yes, I live with residue from I'm constantly fearful that when the supervisor calls me into the office that I've done something wrong, as opposed to I've done something successfully well and they're checking in with me. You are downloaded to believe that every single time that there's a criticism, that you have to go into your toolkit and begin to recreate all these other things and make an assignment outside of what your purpose and your integrity is. The limited ideas, the limited positions is that you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because when you outgrow your role and assignment that has been placed upon you, you have to be able to navigate and activate what does that look like differently for me? What does that look like differently for me and everybody around me? And understanding that my intentions, my goals, everything is definitely more powerful than I have given breathing room and permission for. But then also, are you ready to reassemble your table of opportunity to reset your clear goals that equal clear intentions? Because intentions go way deeper and has a more powerful toolkit and boost into your inner strength. Once your inner strength is understood and clear, then whenever the roadblocks of having you sitting in that parking lot, like we mentioned earlier, with the GPS, wanting it to navigate you northwest or southeast, and you're like, okay, which way do I go? You need a partner in how it is that you're going to maintain your discipline to see your vision come into action, come into execution, and giving you that transformation with legs that's going to give you the growth that you want. And so not only is it going to give you the growth, it's going to give you the strategy that you will begin to look at every 12 weeks. You can say 12 weeks, you can say 90 days, that you can look at every season with a clear mindset of knowing that your transformation is coming to you because you're no longer in that debate of that daily divorce of self. You're no longer fighting with the internal thought process and the external. You are not fighting with that download that has told you you're only going to excel to this certain part. You are no longer dealing with understanding that you need to change your programming for what somebody has told you, and you're open to new ways to live and to be. That a performance review, a performance improvement plan, comments and criticism don't pause you. They don't make you locked and loaded where you feel stuck, but you say, okay, this is what has been presented to me, and you begin to reroute your own personal leadership GPS because you have the blueprint. And so one of the things that I have available, wait, one more thing I want to say, that excuses. What are we making excuses about? Do you know what the purpose and function of your excuses are? They basically give you legs to sit in an energy and have you in a holding pattern. So every time you say, you start your response with but, as opposed to and also. And also is like, let's also consider this other element. But when you say but, you're canceling out what gifts you already have. And if you're canceling out things with using excuses, what really is that excuse about? Is that excuse really kind of leveling into you not feeling prepared or recognized or having the capacity to do something? Is it giving you the permission for yourself to be in that holding pattern that your confidence is not ready for moving forward? So you have to really make a decision that what has happened in your life, what has happened for you as a leader, both personally and professionally, cannot be compartmentalized. But when you look at how it is that you're going to transform, your transformation season starts with you bringing your goals, your intentions, and being able to activate them into life. So I want to share on this final Tuesday of 2022, before we go into 2023 and just live unapologetically, you have the first, if you have participated with this conversation live or in the replay, you have the first installment of recognizing when's one way you need to pull your mask back. The second thing is recognizing that a GPS helps you navigate how it is that you can move your intentions and move the needle from being unstuck. The first part will be getting clarity on your goals to live your life on the terms that you deserve and much more. So 2 days from today, there is a workshop that I am hosting called the Transformation Season for 1229. You can find it, register at the link that's on the screen on Eventbrite, and begin your journey of not living 2023 the way that you lived 2022, not living in stagnation, stuck and handcuffed, not having to feel pulled into other people's narratives about placing you where it is that you should be. Place yourself, identify how you can live unapologetically by affecting change, not only for you individually, but for anybody that comes in contact with you. If they have felt passed over, ignored, overlooked in the workplace, where they're not, or even in personal life, where they're not able to get promoted and live the life that they want on their own terms, standing in their authority, then possibly recommend the workshop to them as well, because the workshop is not only going to help you get clarity on your goals, it's going to help you execute and activate the things that have been standing stagnant in your brain, in your leadership, and in your roles on a day-to-day basis. So I thank you for another Tuesday, the last Tuesday of 2022, spending your morning with me, either live or on the replay. I welcome any feedback and comments that have been made. I tried to infuse some of them into the conversation, but I will go back and share some love and feedback throughout the day. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your Tuesday morning time and chat. And I look forward to serving you on the other side, continuing on Tuesdays, but possibly seeing me pop up some more in some other places. So definitely thank you for having your cup of coffee, tea, and or smoothie with me with the Leadership Nuggets and your girl, Mary May. So until then, you stay safe. If you want to grab some time on my calendar, the link is right there at go1hub.com/Mary1. And let's dive into getting your blueprint ready. So maybe the transformation workshop is too much of a teaser and you're like, nope, I want to dive all in and get my blueprint right. Grab some time on the calendar and let's chat. So have a safe and enjoyable time with yourself first, family and friends as well. So thanks again for joining, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Take a deep dive and enjoy your day.